From the beautiful campus of Casper College, it's the T-Birds Coaches Show, bringing you game breakdowns, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews. Here's your host, Tom Myler.
Hello, T-Bird fans, and guess what? It's that time of year again. We have brought back in Coach Ben MacArthur because it is time for some men's soccer. Some athletics are starting. Let's go. Welcome back.
We're back. Thanks for having me. Always a pleasure to be back with Tommy.
We just love having you in here. I mean, I could spend hours just sitting here talking to you about soccer or anything in between, but today we're going to talk about soccer.
Sweet.
It's not going to be this arcane thing. It's going to be soccer, all right? So, soccer. We love it. Our fans love it. That's what they're here for. So last season, it was okay. It was good. There was definitely some holes I felt like that maybe this year has been fixed a little bit. You ended up number 2 in the conference in semifinals. You lose 1-0. And I remember that. It was just very unfortunate. The other team kind of got a lucky bounce.
Own goal. Yeah, lost on an own goal.
And
yeah, that one hurts. Thanks for bringing it up.
You're welcome.
So appreciate that.
That's what I'm here for. I mean, we're going to talk about soccer, so we got to bring out these painful feelings because, it should be fuel to move on.
It
right?
has been. It has been.
Because, I mean, now I guess this would be the second year, only 1 year removed from having gone to the national championship where you went 1-1, looking to go back. How do you feel about this season and just what you've seen from some of the scrimmages? How's the team looking?
Right now I think the guys they're working hard. They showed up fairly fit. August 1st we get started with some fitness tests, August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and so we got through the fitness tests. And I think overall, like these guys, they want to work hard. They're starting to form relationships, and as a coaching staff, like we're trying to figure out who our top 11 guys are, and then how do we get those top 11 guys on the field. I don't know. Right, we went up to Montana last week and played a couple scrimmages, and they were okay. They weren't great; they were just okay. And so we know that we have potential to be really good. But just like we've talked about in the years prior, like you got to come together as a team. You got to put yourself. You got to score the big goals, the timely goals. You got to have the right amount of shutouts. You got to put everything together. And so the jury's still out. We could be very good, or we could have it fall apart, but we're optimistic. As coaches, we're always optimistic, right? So this is the year. This is the year. We'll put it together this year. Won't have any hiccups. We're always going to have some kind of hiccup, but we're hoping we can put it together and make a run. But we're still in that one day at a time. Like, let's get a little better today than we were yesterday.
Well, and you talked about making a team, right? And I just want to point this out. So women's soccer doesn't necessarily have this because a lot of them are, either from the United States, especially heavy Utah, some from Wyoming. He's got, I think one New Zealand, one Germany, so a couple international. Whereas your team, maybe a third's from Japan, a third from the States, the other third is Canadian, French. As I think you mentioned, they call them French fries.
We have a bunch of Frenchies on the team. Yep, a bunch of Frenchies on the team and Japanese, and obviously our U.S. players, a bunch of Wyoming players, Casper players. And so, we have a diverse group. And so we want those guys to build relationships. They've done a good job this preseason, like pushing themselves out of their comfort zones, trying to build better relationships off the field with each other. And we hope that pays off for us with, chemistry on the field. Right? We enjoy having a diverse group. We talk about, I can't tell you guys all my secrets, but we talk about, the common denominator, right? Like the common denominator between all the guys on my team is the love of soccer, right? And so we get these guys from all over the world and we bring them in. The common denominator is the love of soccer. So it's like, we don't care what your background is or where you're from. Like you're all here because you love soccer. So let's work for each other and build relationships and win a bunch of games, right? So.
Yeah, you just got to string it one game at a time, which definitely makes it hard not to look really far ahead because I know you've got a really fun matchup there on the schedule in the term of number 2 seed Indian Hills.
We're not talking about it.
But I just wanted to mention it. We're not going to talk about it.
We have so many games before that. It's not even funny.
That is too far ahead. So sorry, fans. It's going to be a cool one, so stick around. Hopefully that week we'll talk about it. But this one, we'll only talk about the next 2 games that you got coming up. But before we get there, I just want to make sure we're talking and just kind of getting a feel for what this team is and how we're just, I don't know, what right now with this team do you think is, like you've got the pieces, what is going to bring it and make that giant puzzle?
I think we have to avoid injuries. And that is a massive priority for us, right? If we get the right guys to stay healthy all year, then we'll be okay, right? And so we've got the three returning guys that scored a ton of goals for us last year. All three of those guys are coming back. They all had great years as freshmen. If those three guys can stay healthy, then like that's a big piece of the puzzle for us, right? Like we want to score goals, and those three guys are going to score a bunch of them, we hope. And so, but staying healthy is the key.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like as part of your kind of coaching style, it's more of an aggressive play where, I mean, your forwards, your strikers, they're putting pressure on. Your defense is kind of, I mean, playing defense, obviously, but then you have that little bit of a long ball, and so you're just attack. Is that kind of how you feel, or what style?
Last year, the joke was like we might win games 5-4, right? Like, and we don't want to we want to get away from that a little bit, right? We want to get back to having a lockdown defense, right? And get some guys on the field that can tighten it up for us in the back, understand their role and how we want to defend, the space they have to cover. And then allow our attackers to go be special, and I'd rather win games 2-0 than 5-4, right? So again, that's the balance that we've kind of been working on, is tightening up some defensive principles and then making sure we can still go forward effectively and score goals.
Yeah, I did feel like that was probably the weaker part of your team last year was probably that defensive area. It's not to say it was like bad, just unfortunately there was a little bit.
Just tighten it up. Yeah, just tighten it up.
And so maybe just not in the right spot at times, or a mistake here, a mistake there, that kind of allowed that open goal or just that one-on-one. And that actually is a nice segue into that first game against USUE. So last year they come here, and I remember this was a fantastic game to watch, but unfortunately it was one of those.
It was a wild one. Yeah, that was a wild one.
So you guys go down in half 3-1, and then score 4 goals in the second half and win 5-3.
Yep.
And just, I mean, what a game that was, but how can we not repeat this?
That's their goal, right? Like, let's not give up 3 goals in the first half, right? And so that happened last year. A couple of those goals were really sloppy goals we gave up, and then the guys came awake at halftime when Connor and I kind of said, hey, like, if you go through the motions, you will lose. Like in college soccer, every team has a bunch of dudes on it, and so if you just go through the motions, you're going to lose. And so we woke them up at halftime, came out in the second half, scored 4 great goals in the second half to turn it around and get the win. Hopefully this year it's not. Now they got a new coach. They're going to be very organized. They got a bunch of new players. So we expect Utah State Eastern to be a sleeper in Region 18, right? So with that Salt Lake and Snow region, I think Utah State Eastern will be a sleeper. They'll be tough. And so that first game for us on Saturday is going to be we're going to be fired up. They're going to be fired up. And it is it's going to be a tough one. Yeah.
I mean, I absolutely agree. I mean, you've faced off 3 times in the past 3 years. You're 3-0 against them, but that does not mean that each one of those games has been a battle, a matchup for the ages.
Yep,
and I just think of last year just because it's most recent, and it was just fun to watch. But I absolutely agree. I mean, they are not a person that you want to sleep on. They always come to the table ready to fight.
Yeah, they'll be tough.
So, all right. So that's kind of what we can expect against Utah State Eastern. You got to travel down there, so you're looking at 7-8 hour bus ride.
Yeah, drive down, play them, come back. Yep, come back, get settled in, and then it's first home game of the year, Tuesday, August 26th versus Gillette. And they're in a region, but it's a non-region game. They're so close to us, and there's our travel partner as well, that it makes sense, for us to play them as a non-region game early in the season like this. And so that's what this is. We try to play each other every year, early in the year. Last year we went and played them, early in the year. So now they're coming to us early in the year. So August 26th, which is next Tuesday, we host Gillette, for a non-region game.
Yeah, and I feel like so this will be, I believe, their 3rd year back from having athletics again. And every year they've slightly improved. So I am imagining this year they should have a really good team put together.
I think so. And they did get a new coach. Shout out to Spencer Durfee. Spencer Durfee is a former player of mine, and he's the head coach at Gillette College. And so they will be way more organized, I feel, and he's got a good group of guys. Like, they'll be way better. And so that's going to be a good game, right? And so, new head coach, bringing in new ideas, fresh ideas, new players, his own players. Like, they'll be tough. Gillette will be tough.
Well, definitely not something that you can just. I mean, they might be a little arcane, but that's all right. We'll get through it. I mean, if talking to women's soccer, I mean, it's all about focusing on ourselves first and then kind of reacting. Would you say that's a pretty...
For sure. You know, we want to be a little arcane with how we play, right? We want them to understand that, like, this is who we are, but every year we evolve a little bit, right? And so does that mean we evolve in the way we press? Does that mean we evolve in the way that we attack? Does that evolve in how we organize our back line, right? So we continue to evolve as a coaching staff, ideas and concepts and principles, to give us, the best chance to win. But we definitely have, like, this is how we prefer to play. And if you want to beat us, you have to handle what we're going to try to do to you, right? Like, we try to be the aggressors, on the soccer field. So,
I mean,
it's a fun way to play, fun way to coach.
I believe it. And actually, I'm glad you brought up coaching, because I asked this question with Coach Bennett and Coach Norcross of just, how's that relationship between you and Coach Connor Schmidt here? Like, what do you have kind of like a role? Like, you're a good coach, he's bad coach, and you guys
good cop, bad cop.
Yeah.
Connor and I have been working. This is our year 4 together, right? And so we're going into year 4 together. Went to a national tournament together a couple years ago, and so, like, we're a pretty well-oiled machine. Like, he understands very clearly how we want to play and what we want to get accomplished. Training sessions are clean. Connor's a hype guy. He's always getting after him about communication and effort, and so he generally jumps in and does the warm up and the first activity, some kind of technical activity, gets them going, and then I jump in and run the middle of the session. Connor works with the goalies, so Connor and I have a great relationship. He has a very clear understanding of, like, this is what we're looking for and this is how we want to play, right? And so having that relationship with Connor has been really good.
Yeah, and I believe you even have a volunteer coach this year. How has he kind of worked in your system?
Yep.
Here?
So Rick Mullen has jumped in as a volunteer coach for us this year, and so he's a great guy. He's got 50 years. I better not age him. He's got 30 plus years of soccer experience. He played junior college soccer, a little while, a few years ago. And but Rick's a great guy. He's been at our training sessions. He offers a little bit of wisdom, with his experience, right? And so he's kind of developed into the past few weeks a little bit of a devil's advocate, where he's like, "Hey, Connor and Ben, are you sure?" And then Connor and I are like, "Oh, okay, like, let's talk about this," right? And so it's been great having Rick around. He's built relationships with all the players quickly. They enjoy having him around. He's a great guy.
All right, yeah, because I've always wondering, because when you mentioned that you're bringing on kind of this volunteer coach, like, I wonder how that's going to work. And it sounds like he's doing
Rick's
great.
Awesome. Yeah, he's awesome.
The players like him, and that's what you want. And it sounds like, not necessarily just a coach can be the difference maker, but you never know if, hey, are you sure, that playing that devil's advocate?
Just a little bit of devil's advocate sometimes can go a long ways, just to say, like, are we sure? Right? Are we sure we want to do this? That kind of thing. Yeah. So
bringing that 30 years of
Rick, experience. Shout out to Rick.
Well, shout out to you, Rick. And yeah, as Coach said, so you're traveling this Saturday to USUE. Should be a great matchup. It always is. And then, of course, a Gillette against here at home. Moraine Playing Fields Tuesday. Is it 2 o'clock game, 4 o'clock game?
It's a 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock game. So get the kids out of school, come down and watch a game.
Gotta love it. And like we said, new coach, new players. Should be a great one.
Should be a great game.
Nice, fun matchup. Well, Coach, anything else you got for us?
No, appreciate having us.
Burning to say and tell the fans?
No, just be a fan. Come watch us. We try to play good soccer and make it fun. So
that's right. That's what we're here for. We're here for you fans. And, well, make sure to check us out here on Tuesday, 4 o'clock. But until then, we'll see you next time.